Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. This video is going to be theoretical as opposed to practical, in which I'm going to provide some scientific background to the whole practice of mindfulness and meditation and explain to you why it's not only feeling good in the body, but why it's also backed up by actual data to support the idea that mindfulness and meditation, along with conscious breathing, can really make a difference in your life and shift you back out of a imbalanced state of being back into balance, and that it might help you to regulate your body and mind, and how to do that. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So the terms mindfulness and meditation are currently all over the place, and there are so many different means online of people that are trying to help other people to implement mindfulness and meditation into their daily lives. Including this channel, of course, where I try to make the connection between mindfulness, breathing, meditation, conscious movement, and general well-being. While this is obviously a very good thing that those channels exist, many people still claim that their routine is so full that they don't get any break, and that they just don't have the time to practice either mindfulness or meditation, with which I totally sympathize to begin with. But in this video specifically, I want to make a case for the fact that I think mindfulness and meditation can be implemented into the daily life of basically anybody. But before we get to that, in this video I want to explain why there is scientific evidence that supports the claim that meditation and mindfulness does indeed provide very tangible evidence that it has a positive effect on the body and the mind. I want to bridge the somewhat abstract concept or perception of mindfulness and meditation with the very reliable scientific proof of neuroscience that mindfulness is not only good for you, but can be very crucial for your overall well-being in the long run. So firstly, we would have to ask ourselves, what is really wrong with us? Why do we need mindfulness and meditation in our daily lives to basically cope with all the struggles that we can have in front of us in our lives? So when I started to think about general ideas that I can use for this specific video, I thought to myself, what is really the point here? So there are so many people that live with a constant state of agitation and restlessness, and I also don't say that I haven't experienced this firsthand myself. And where does this come from? Why don't we ever have a very calm, balanced state of mind in our modern lives? And then I think I came up with something that really hits the nail on the head, and I thought of this phrase, that an agitated society fosters agitated states of mind. So as I stated many times before in previous videos, in the modern world, in the Western world, there is so many things that keep our brains active basically throughout the entire day. They're kept receptive and on the watch for new information, for new impulses, for new stimuli throughout the entire day, and this is happening every day. In other words, our autonomic nervous system is plainly not designed for the current state of affairs, for all the information, all the stimuli that is being shoved into our throats. They are simply not prepared to digest all of that. So while in the beginning of human existence, the sympathetic nervous system, the branch of the nervous system that is responsible for fight and flight reactions, in the case of acute danger and threats. So then the solution to the threat or danger that appeared in front of us was very simple back in the day, where we either fought this source of danger, or in case that we wouldn't be strong enough to fight it, we would run away from it. And then afterwards, after the threat was defeated, or after we've successfully ran away from it, then our nervous system could very easily shift back into a state of safety and ease, and we could once more relax, recover, and digest properly. And the parasympathetic mode, the branch of the nervous system that is also called the rest and digest response, could be turned on like that in an instant. Today, with the pace of living having accelerated immensely, there is an innumerable amount of threats, dangers, and disruptors that you cannot simply run away from or fight. Emotional turbulences, financial troubles, bringing up children, exposure to social media, and automatic comparison in the current society to other people, their financial well-being, their bodies, their faces, their beauty and whatnot. And this happens basically to everybody subconsciously, but it's very hard to get away from this general idea that we have to compare ourselves to other folks in the society. These are all things that we as people are constantly on the lookout to avoid, but that those things never really leave our brains and our heads entirely. We may have a respite from them by distracting ourselves or successfully finding some time to recover, but subconsciously they will always be there and knock at the door to make us think, to make us question our lives, our current state, our finances, our bodies, their state of fitness. So those are things that are constantly like buzzing around our heads, and we really have to make an effort to not frequently every single day think about them and basically get drawn down and having a negative influence on our well-being and our state of mind. So you could basically say those struggles follow us around like a very elusive stalker. So nowadays our brain and nervous system really struggles to completely shift out of this state of the sympathetic nervous system, the state of fight or flight, and get us back in the calm, balanced, and just very pleasant state of the parasympathetic branch, which is why we always will find ourselves in a medium rare state of this sympathetic mode, and we work around that. We accept this as the new normal. If we are stressed, if we have trouble sleeping, then we find reasons for why that may be the case, but we never really dig deep and try to find out what's really going on. And people have accepted the fact that their jobs and their lives are very stressful and it's just so hard and everything, but it really, really, really doesn't have to be the case, and this shouldn't really be accepted as the new general normal. And this constant slight activation of the sympathetic nervous system really has a negative effect in the long run for our well-being, for our nervous system, and the nervous system likes repetition. So if we find ourselves in a state of fight and flight, constant exposure to social media, comparison, financial troubles, arguments in the job, etc., then this will be accepted as the way of being if we don't intercept and say, I want to really, really, really get back to a balanced and harmonious state of being. And well, with this video, I try to make a case for that, explain what happens for you to understand what's going on in the modern world and how we can really try to get us back to a state that was intended for us, that nature wanted us to be in for the majority of the time. And yeah, Don't get me wrong, the sympathetic mode is very important. In specific situations, it activates us, it gets us going. But if we experience this state over a long time, then it really has a negative effect on body and mind. So a very palpable way to explain this is that you lie in bed or on your sofa in the evening, you have to work the next day, and you really want to find some time to relax, recover, and get some rest before the next day's work. And the only thing you can think of is the stuff you have to do in the morning at work. The conversations that you have to have with other people, the projects that you have to finish, the emails that you have to get to other colleagues, etc., etc. And this is a prime example of the thing I was trying to explain to you, that we leave the moment that is basically perfect for us to really settle, get some rest, and with the minds, we are somewhere entirely different and in a very stressful situation. And this really messes with our capacity to reset and recover. And if this happens all over again and again and again, the majority of the days of the week, then this can really lead to mental disease like burnout, depression, and other conditions. And really, and this once again is a first-hand experience, those so-called illnesses like depression, burnout, and other stuff, for me, those are not exactly only illnesses. They are the body's and mind's last resort to tell you that something really isn't right, that something has to change for you, that your body and your mind simply don't want to live in the state they have been living in for the past months or years even, and that they need change, potentially drastic change immediately. So your body's telling you that it can't take the lifestyle you're currently living anymore, and that you might possibly need to address also emotions that have been buried very deeply and that really need to be cracked open in order to release a lot of stuff that you have been holding on to. All right, let's try and get some help with that. And in the next step, I want to look at how meditation and mindfulness really can change your brain and how it really can make a difference. So what we want to do essentially is make the parasympathetic mode the default mode, like the mode where you are at ease, where you are relaxed, and how mindfulness and meditation really can help you to achieve that, which in turn makes it easier for you to repose and recover. For that, let's look at some data. So whether it's you simply being overwhelmed, stressed, burned out, or constantly agitated, or even if you experience a major psychological disorder such as anxiety, intrusive thoughts, or depression, your brain is simply not in a calm state anymore. So now what happens is that the rest and digest branch of the nervous system, the parasympathetic state, is not the default mode anymore. And the sympathetic states that signify danger and threats become the new normal. This obviously messes with the entire system and makes your body and mind be on edge the entire time. Since we as human beings thrive best and really want to operate from a fundamentally calm, relaxed, and open state, it is crucial that we find our way back from a predominantly parasympathetically driven state and of the nervous system itself. Now, let's look at a couple of studies that confirm that meditation and mindfulness can offer a valuable tool in doing so, in achieving exactly that. In 2018, the Harvard Gazette published an article called When Science Meets Mindfulness that looked at the effects of mindfulness and meditation I'm quickly going to read out to you what they concluded. Studies have shown benefits against an array of conditions, both physical and mental, including irritable bowel syndrome, fibromyalgia, psoriasis, anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. But some of those findings have been called into question because studies had small sample sizes or problematic experimental designs. Still, there are a handful of key areas including depression, chronic pain, and anxiety in which well-designed, well-run studies have shown benefits for patients engaging in a mindfulness meditation program, with effects similar to other existing treatments. In fact, the studies also confirmed that mindfulness and meditation affected the amygdala, the body's fear and stress center. The study confirmed that regular meditation indeed reduces the size and reactivity of the amygdala, leading to less reactivity of the amygdala in stressful situations. Therefore, practitioners experienced less anxiety, less stress, and therefore practitioners experience reduced anxiety, fear, and overall stress. Research also indicates that meditation measurably changes a brainwave activity in the brain. So meditation leads to increased alpha and theta waves in the brain. Those are associated with less anxiety and better relaxation and creativity. Beta waves, on the other hand, associated with stress and active thinking, reduce during meditation. It's also confirmed by many studies that mindfulness and mindfulness meditation really turn on the brain's capacity for change, which is called neuroplasticity. This concept of neuroplasticity truly is inevitable when it comes to recovering from a chronically stressed brain and from major illnesses of the brain and nervous system and recovering from them. We want to reap those incredible benefits of neuroplasticity, and meditation and mindfulness can be very efficient and beneficial to spur this capability of cognitive change. And as I've said before, the current world, the modern world we all live in, is really not designed for the nervous system to be in a general state of harmony, rest, and calmness, which makes it crucial for us to really find ways with which we can counteract this. So mindfulness and meditation really become a crucial act of love that you can send to your own body and mind, that is very necessary to find balance in a world that is pretty much out of balance. And to have our bodies and minds operating in an optimal state, it really is our responsibility of each and every one of us to reap the benefits of mindfulness and meditation in one way or the other to recover from this imbalance, or to simply stay in a state of balance. What it boils down to is that we have to take care of our body after fitness, after working out, which seems very obvious and clear. But in the same way, we really need to take care of our brains too. So our brains are obviously bombarded with different inputs of all kinds. They're constantly exposed to stimuli and new information, which makes it very easy for the brain to be overwhelmed and to find itself in a constant state of being overwhelmed and stressed out. They are, as said, not designed for the modern environment. So instead of simply following the autopilot over and over again and remaining in this rat race without ever questioning it, I want to encourage each and every one of you to introduce mindfulness and meditation into your lives and see how the implementation of it can really make a difference in the long run. And this aims to reintroduce intention and presence back into our lives. Here on the platform, I will definitely continue to provide material for you to do exactly that. For you to stay engaged and have the possibility to engage in your very unique quest for a mindful way of life. So before this video comes to an end, I'll finally leave you with the following statements that really pretty much sum everything up that I wanted to say. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, where we will once again practice meditation and mindfulness in one way or the other. And maybe you can even start and practice mindfulness today. This can be done in very, very small things, like mindfully listening to music. That means that you listen to music and that it doesn't just go from here to there and out of the head again, that you really give intention to the act of listening to music, or very mindfully washing the dishes, for instance. This is because mindfulness can be found and implemented basically everywhere. And with this said, take care, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening and joining me today, and I'll see you very soon.